Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another session on Python programming. In the last session, we discussed concept of the statement called as break. Today, we're going to look into another jump statement, which is available in almost all languages, and that is a statement called as continue. So let's have a look at what that continue statement is, and I'll take up some examples just to show you how to use this particular construct. So let's jump ahead with continue statement. So what does the continue statement say? It is used to tell the Python to skip the rest of the statements in the current loop block. That means this statement can be used only inside the loops. This cannot be used at any other place. It can be used only inside the loop. And what can we do with this particular statement? We can tell if there are a few more statements after this continue, skip them, take the control back to the next iteration of the loop. That means to the next conditional test of the loop. So if this statement is encountered, the statements that appear after continue inside the body of the loop, they will all be skipped. So it causes immediate jump to the top of the loop. So when we use the word top of the loop, what we actually mean is for the next condition that is there. So here we say while test expression, again we put say if condition, if this condition is satisfied, we say continue, that will take the control back to the conditional statement. Actually, it will take the control to the conditional statement, test expression. That is where it will take the control. We can use break and continue both in the same loop as well. So let's take an example of a continue statement to understand how exactly it can be used. It looks like Harsh has solved the assignment. Which assignment is it that you have solved, Harsh?
Sir, you had given 4 assignments that day. Out of that, I have done 3. I wasn't able to do the last one.
So there's
That's
nothing as
self-number.
there is nothing as I was not able to do that. The only thing that could happen is you may go wrong, correct?
Yes, sir.
But then I would love to see where have you gone wrong. So whatever you have solved is something is of my interest. I'm not really interested in knowing whether you got it right or wrong. There's nothing right or wrong because however correct solution you give me, I can still find out some kind of bugs, some scope of improvement. So the only way I will understand you better is by looking at your way of writing the programs. So those who really want to improve in their programming skills, unless you do not show me the code that you write, I'll not be in a position to provide you guidance. So more the codes you submit, more better I can help you with the improvement in this coding constructs. So just whatever is the code, just submit. You may feel it is wrong. Probably you may feel it is wrong because it did not give you the desired result, but then somewhere there may be the answer to that particular problem. So just submit it irrespective of what you feel, right or wrong. Let me figure out whether it's right or wrong. Okay, good. Let's jump ahead with example for continue statement. So this is, please turn on your cameras. I need not tell you every time. Now this example that is there is just to understand the syntax, nothing more than that. How continue works, that's what we would like to see. Now once you understood that, then we'll put into some practical use, how to use this continue statement. Here, we have a counter whose initial value is 0. We have a limit whose value is 10. That means our loop is going to run and we are incrementing counter every time. That means my loop will run in the range of 0 to 9. Because moment it becomes 10, 10 is less than 10, condition will become false and will come out. So when counter value becomes 10 and we check 10 is less than 10, the loop will be terminated and we'll go to the else part, that is the end. But the question is, what will it print during this particular iterations? So let's understand how it is working. Pay attention to the controller. Where does it go? So I'll start debugging this particular program for you to understand it better. I'll start debugging this particular program to understand it better. We have two variables. That is there any disturbance? I have just put on the fan. Is there any disturbance?
No, sir.
Audio quality?
It's okay.
No, sir.
Okay. So we have limit, which is a final variable, constant variable whose value is 10. We have taken counter as 0. I could have taken counter as 1 and written over here counter less than or equal to limit. That's what also I could. That will also run 10 times. 1 to 10 is also 10 times. 0 to 9 is also 10 times. So I take counter as 0. We check is 0 less than or limit. Look at this. Counter is 0, limit is 10. So we're checking is 0 less than limit, is 0 less than 10. Condition is true. Since the condition is true, we go inside the loop. Counter now becomes 2. Watch it. Counter now becomes 2. 1. Counter now becomes 1. We check is 1 equal to 3 or 1 equal to 5. Both the conditions are false. 1 is neither 3, neither 5. So since this condition is false, we'll not go to the continue. We'll go to the print counter. So we'll go and print the value of counter. So we'll print counter value as 1. So 1 has got printed. But after executing the last statement in the body of the loop, that's line number 15, the control obviously goes back to the beginning of the loop. So it goes back to the beginning of the loop and it checks counter less than or limit. Counter value 1 less than or 10, condition is true. It again goes inside. Counter now becomes 2. Counter now becomes 2. And check is 2 equal to 3 or 2 equal to 5. Condition is false. It goes and prints 2. Watch, it has printed 2. Then it goes and checks again. Is 2 less than equal to less than 10? Yes, 2 is less than 10. The counter now becomes 3. Is 3 equal to 3? Condition is true. When OR is there, if any condition evaluates to true, we don't even have to evaluate the next condition. Okay, because true or anything is true. So this is true. So it goes to continue statement. Watch it. And what has happened? So from this continue, the control has went back, jumped back to the looping condition. It has skipped the concept of the printing value. So while 2 was printed, 3 did not get printed because when it was 3, we said continue. Moment you say continue, the control goes back to the conditional statement. So rest of the statements, that means this line number 15 has now been skipped. So whatever the statements that appear inside the body of the loop, they will be skipped if that statement is encountered. So now it becomes 4. Is 4 equal to 3 or 4 equal to 5? Condition is false. It goes and prints 4. 4 less than 10, yes. It becomes 5. 5 equal to 3 or 5 equal to 5? 5 is definitely equal to 5. Okay, so it says continue. Watch it. Continue. And where will continue to take the control? Watch it once again. It will not go to line number 15. It will directly jump to line number 11. So the statements have been skipped. The control has gone back to the beginning of the loop. And now counter is again 6. 6 equal to 3 or 5, 9. So we'll print 6, then we'll print 7, we'll print 8, we'll print 9. Now counter is 9. Huh? 9 less than limit, yes. Counter becomes 10. 10 equal to 3 or 10 equal to 5, condition is false. It prints counter that is 10. And then counter less than limit, 10 less than 10, condition is false. So we go and we say the end. So that's how this particular code has got executed. So we are in the example of continue 1. Let's run this program from the command prompt to see the final result, which can go at one stage. We could have done it over here as well, but let's test it in here as well. CD. Let's say Python while continue 1. So it prints 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I think they have executed some other code. It's continue 1.py. Well, let me save this file while continue 1.py. While continue 1.py. 1, 2, 3. No, there's something is wrong. Let's see what's the content of this file. Type while continue 1.py. Oh, this is not the example that we are running. Our example is something different. So what's the name of this file? While continue 1.py. Where is it? It's in the folder C:\Python programs while continue 1.py. Right? And how is it? Oh, I will discuss this and I'm checking running 1. It was 2 actually. So it was while continue 2.py. That's what we have executed. And what has happened? 1, 2, 3 has not got printed. 4, 6, 5 has not got printed. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the end. So that's how continue works. that's the basic idea as to how continue will work. So if continue statement is encountered inside the body of the loop, the rest of the statements in the loop will be skipped, transferring the control back to the beginning of the loop or to the conditional statement. So make a note on continue statement, right out. If continue statement is encountered in the body of the loop, if continuous statement is encountered in the body of the loop, the rest of the statements are skipped. The rest of the statements are skipped, transferring the control. The rest of the statements, if continuous statement is encountered inside the body of the loop, the rest of the statements in the body of the loop are skipped. Don't say rest of the statements are skipped. The rest of the statements in the body of the loop are skipped. The rest of the statements in the body of the loop are skipped, transferring the control. Transferring the control back to the conditional test of the loop. Transfer the control back to the conditional test of the loop.
Back to the conditionalच्या पुढे काय?
Transfer the control back to the conditional, what did I say?
Test of the loop.
Conditional test of the loop. Transfer the control back to the conditional test of the loop. So loop could be any loop. The control will go back to the conditional test of the loop.
Okay.
Now there is a small assignment that you have to solve right away, and then we'll proceed further. So please note down the question. The question goes this way. Accept an alphabet. Accept an alphabet and check whether it's vowel or consonant, and stop only when user enters Q for saying quit. Stop only when user enters Q. So accept the alphabet and check whether it's whether alphabet is vowel or consonant, and stop when user enters Q. So just for your reference, I have put it in the chat window as well. So that's an assignment. Solve it right away, and then we'll see as to how we can improve on that design. So again, I break you all into the groups. So you'll have permission to share your screens as well. But make a serious attempt to solve it. The rooms are open for all. Join your respective rooms and please start solving. Rooms are open. Join the room. Oh, submit your files, please. Let me check. So we have got one file from group 2, group 1. Prithviraj, Harsh, Monica, submit your file.
Yes, sir.
Group 1, submit your file, please. Okay, now we have 2 files, 2 scripts. Let's go ahead, checking them. First alphabet assignment. Huh? Is this what has been submitted? Ek line. Who has submitted this? एक लाइन का submission किसका है? Prithviraj, only one line have you submitted?
I submitted.
We saw what have you submitted. Just look at this one line. STR input, please enter the alphabet.
That's not my file.
Alphabet underscore assignment.py. That's not your file. Alphabet underscore .py. Prithviraj Pisar.
Okay.
That's your file.
I forgot. I've sent it again.
The basic rules of indentation have not been taken care of. This is not just, it will not just fail to run, it will generate an error. When you put an if condition and there is a statement associated with that if condition, shouldn't there be an indentation? And this if is outside the loop. So the loop has got over here, line number 6, 7. Where is the indentation? So even if you are writing something, it should be indented. All the statements inside the body of the loop should be indented from the margin. So basic indentation is not taken care of. No question of the program being executed. So this is an incomplete code, but grave mistakes are here. Input function already returns you string. Why the heck do you need to again convert into an str while input already gives you a string? And you cannot say enter the alphabet dot upper. That's totally wrong. Let's run what you have said. Even forget about this. All these things are anyway incorrect. What have we done? Alphabet in vowel prints is a vowel, and alphabet equal to exit equal to single equal to exit. Do you want to assign exit this to alphabet, and then you're going to print something? So this is just incomplete. But even if this is incomplete, let's see even the first statement that you have written, whether that's first statement, whether that is right. Line number 2. What does it store? Let's have a look at it. If you're in Notepad++ and you would like to comment, you can just say Control Q to comment and uncomment. Control Q. And if you're in a Spider, it's Control 1. So some shortcuts you should always remember. So let's see what happens when we have such a statement that has not been written. So I'll rather open up this in Spider to run this particular code directly, just to see what is the result. So if I run this particular program, please enter alphabet. Do you want to print this message in uppercase? You are saying please enter alphabet. That's a string. Do you want this string to be printed in uppercase? And suppose if I enter alphabet A, okay, what has happened? A has got stored into this particular variable. But what was the point in saying str? Even if I had not said str, it will still accept A and store. Why do you need to say str? So let's run the code once again. I again enter, suppose Q. Q has correctly got stored. Look at that alphabet. Input function anyway return string. And this upper will have impact on this string. So this string will get converted to uppercase. Why do you need to convert that string to an uppercase? If the input was to be converted to uppercase, and what you have ended up is converting this string to an uppercase. So if this upper was to be returned, you should have got over of this print over input statement over here, and then you could have thought about converting into an uppercase. That's how you could have converted to an uppercase. So parentheses matter. So if I enter small case a, see what has got stored into this variable is uppercase a. So this input will give you a string. That string dot upper, that string will get converted to upper, not by converting into a string. And the rest, there was nothing in this code, nothing to discuss. Okay. It only indicates you'll actually need more efforts to put in. Here we go. Let's look at this one. OS. Why is this OS imported over here? I don't understand. It very clearly says you have
Sir,
imported,
sorry.
but it's unused.
सर वो सीज करना था वो रह गया डेटा वैलिडेशन रह गया सर
Okay. So we say AEIOU. It says please enter alphabet. Alphabet ko they convert to a lowercase. If alphabet is Q, the end and break. Break will take you out of the loop. If alphabet in vowel, you print it's a vowel, otherwise it's a consonant. This is a flawed design. It looks right, but it's just not right. Okay, it's a wrong design. And why is it wrong design? At least better than the previous one. The previous one would not even get executed. This will at least get executed, run sometimes. So let's see what happens sometimes when it runs. And it will give you a false feeling that whether it is right, it's right. So let's at least have that false feeling for some time. I enter alphabet like small case A, it says A is vowel, great. I enter E, okay, E is vowel, great. I enter F, okay, F is consonant, that's great. I enter uppercase F, okay, lowercase f is a consonant. गलत है, मैंने uppercase F किया है. I want to know whether uppercase alphabet, consonant. आपके लिए lowercase is a consonant. I am not interested in lowercase. I was interested in uppercase F, and you are saying me lowercase f is a consonant. So I want to know whether the character that I have entered, because this lowercase f is different and uppercase s is different. I understood that lowercase f is a consonant. Why do you again telling me lowercase f is a consonant when I entered uppercase f? Probably uppercase f may be vowel. That's one mistake. Second thing is, if I enter Q, okay, it's good that it comes out. Okay, it terminates. So it gives you a feeling that it's right. To some extent, it is right. But if I enter a alphabet like hash, it says hash is a consonant. Is hash a consonant?
डेटा वैलिडेशन रह गया
No. One was one a consonant? Okay. And rest all punctuation marks. Okay, punctuation is a consonant. So this is also flawed. So again, give you some time, rework, redesign the solution. So don't take it lightly. These assignments are, we are actually checking how are you thinking, how much are you applying yourself. These are not college assignments where you just have to submit something and you get some marks irrespective whatever you do. When you do it, apply your mind. Think about it. You're using a function called as is alpha. Okay, that's what you have used. Na? Aapne alpha using nahi kiya. You could have checked whether it's an alphabet or not. Alphabet hai to vowel hai consonant hai. The concept of vowel and consonant is applicable only to alphabets. It's not applicable for special characters and other things. The reason, like, we spent the initial part of Python exploring the string concepts and everything. The basic reason for spending that all that time was so that you can write good codes, because you know all about the data. And if you do not use what we have learned earlier about the data types, then the quality of code that will come up is this. It just goes to show you're not using what we have learned earlier. There is nothing that we have to use over here which we haven't discussed. एक भी ऐसी चीज नहीं जो हमने डिस्कस नहीं किया और आपको यूज करने के लिए कहा है. It requires serious application, revision about what you have learned, and only then will you be in a position to write good quality code. Just apply yourself, revise what we have done, go through the concept of data types, the string types, which are most widely used in every programming language. Every programming language. So if you are not very comfortable with strings, then you are in for a trouble. So suppose this example was to be solved, how should we have gone ahead solving this example? Let's have a look at it. Some people feel अरे simple तो है, ये क्या assignments दे रहे हैं? Okay, somebody asked me last time whether these assignments will have some value during interviews. अरे this is all about how you think. So that will definitely have value during interviews. How do you think? How do you apply yourself? Let's have a look at a solution. Let me comment out the codes that we have. There are a lot of codes that I have written in this example. Let me jump up and let's take the first one. So like you all, I have also taken a vowel list. So I have a list of vowels, A, I, U. I say infinite, oh, I just right now mistakenly, okay, this is not the case. So while true, that's infinite loop. I ask user to enter alphabet and then I also tell the user, आपका जो solution था उसमें user को क्या कोई सपने में आके बताएगा Q करने पर exit करना है? How will the user know that he is supposed to enter Q? Others for lifelong he will keep on entering alphabets और जब तक alphabet enter करते रहेगा पता ही नहीं चलेगा जिंदगी में कब पैसे terminate करना है. So you need to tell the user. So I say please enter alphabet, press Q to quit. So we are telling the user if you don't want to do this anymore, please press Q to quit. When user enters an alphabet, the first thing we'll do is we'll convert to an uppercase. Okay. So ये आपका जो A है, I'm not converting A to uppercase. I'm getting uppercase equivalent of that character. So my character small case है तो small case ही रहेगा. But while checking, it will use the uppercase equivalent. And I'm checking, is that in the vowel list? अगर वो है तो we'll print it's a vowel. Okay. और नहीं है तो we'll print consonant. And अगर enter क्या हो आपको character अगर Q है तो we'll break and will come out. Okay, but then the problem still exists. So as long as you enter alphabets, तब तक तो ठीक है. And the day when you enter a character which is not an alphabet, you are in for a trouble. Here we go. We have been asked, please enter alphabet. Oh, last program, I think I did not stop. So let me stop the last program and continue with this. Here you go. It says, please enter alphabet Q to quit. I press Q. कहता Q is consonant and bye bye. ठीक है. I enter uppercase Q. कहता है Q is consonant and bye bye. So Q कहने पर stop तो हो रहा है. We run the program. I enter small case A तो कहता है small case A is a vowel. I enter uppercase A तो कहता है uppercase A is a vowel. I enter small case W कहता है small case W is a vowel. I enter uppercase W जो है वही vowel है. Because by writing the statement over here, I'm not converting that character to uppercase equivalent. I'm taking a copy of that thing. When you say alphabet is equal to alphabet dot upper, that character will get replaced. Here my original character remains as it is. Is it in vowel list? अगर है तो vowel है, otherwise नहीं तो consonant है. So we saw vowel and consonant both. And when I enter Q, uppercase or small case Q, the program stops. But the problem that I talked about, what if I enter at the rate? कहता है at the rate is a consonant. What if I enter hash? Hash is a consonant. So this is slightly better, but totally wrong. Because hash and these are not consonants. So how could I have improved on that? So let's look at an improvement. So always use what we have learned. You could use set, you could use list, your choice. कुछ भी use करो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But then this was not that straightforward. Questions appear very simple. I told you earlier, there is a big difference between good quality code and just a code. People are under a feeling that they have solved the problem. You know why softwares cost so much? Good quality softwares cost so much. When you want to purchase Microsoft, it will cost you so much, any software. Why? Because they have taken all those things into consideration. Okay, in your previous code, there are other bugs as well. Let me just open up that code. Last close, recently opened. ये आपका alphabet था. What if user enters? आपने भले ही message दिया, please enter alphabet. And user is smart. He enters alphabet like दादा. अभी इसको कहा है enter करो alphabet. अरे एक अल्फाबेट एंटर करना है, एंटर दादा. अब क्या बोलोगे? दादा इज अ कॉन्सोनेंट. ओके. एंड अगर दादा की जगह ही हैड एंटर्ड अन्ना, तो अन्ना इज अ कॉन्सोनेंट. ये क्या है? अन्ना इज अ कॉन्सोनेंट, दादा इज अ कॉन्सोनेंट. व्हाट इज दिस ऑल अबाउट? इट इज नॉट अबाउट दैट दादा और अन्ना और ही हैड एंटर्ड ओनली ट्रिपल ए. दैट ट्रिपल ए इज अ कॉन्सोनेंट. अरे दिस इज नॉट राइट. हाउ डू यू अज्यूम? आपने कहा है यूजर उतना ही स्मार्ट है या आप ही यूजर हो कि आपने जो कहा है वही यूजर एंटर करेगा. तो you have to take all those things into consideration while you solve the assignment. Okay, here we go. We ask this user again. We have taken infinite loop. The only way to come out of the infinite loop is by using break. So forget about rest. When alpha upper is equal to Q, to break, that will terminate the loop. But before that, we ask user to enter alphabet. When user enters an alphabet, यहाँ और एक दिखाता हूँ आपका और एक को देखिए. अब तो मैंने एक बार यहाँ A एंटर किया है, तो A is vowel और consonant now.
vowel.
vowel,
ये क्या कह रहा है? Consonant है. The reason for that is I did not just enter A, मैंने A के बाद एक space भी डाला है. And then A is a consonant कह रहा है. Okay. या फिर मैंने space करके E डाला, कहता है E is a consonant. I chose space E is a consonant कह रहा है. And had I entered correctly only, then E is a vowel. So these are things that you have to take into consideration. These are all the possibilities that are there. So what are we doing now? We ask user to alphabet and we use the function called as strip. Did we discuss string name strip? What will strip do? It will remove all the spaces, leading and trailing spaces. We had learned two functions, L strip and R strip. एक left side के space निकालता है, एक right side के strip दोनों side के. So if you add a string saying space 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 R dot strip, ये आपको सिर्फ R देगा. ओके. और अगर आपका ये ऐसा कुछ था स्पेस 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 और आपने कहा होता एल स्ट्रिप, तो लेफ्ट साइड की स्पेस निकल गया. और अगर आपने कहा होता आर स्ट्रिप, तो राइट साइड की स्पेस निकल गया. देखिएगा यहाँ लेफ्ट साइड की स्पेस हैव बीन रिमूव्ड, हियर राइट साइड की स्पेस हैज बीन रिमूव्ड. और अब यहाँ अगर इफ आई जस्ट से स्ट्रिप एल स्ट्रिप ने आर स्ट्रिप ने, तो दोनों स्पेस निकल जाएंगे. नोट कीजिएगा कोड्स में सिर्फ आर है, यहाँ सिर्फ लेफ्ट साइड के स्पेस जा चुके हैं, यहाँ सिर्फ राइट साइड लेफ्ट साइड के जा चुके हैं, यहाँ सिर्फ राइट साइड की स्पेस जा चुके हैं. तो यू हैव टू टेक इनटू कंसीडरेशन दोस थिंग्स. तो फर्स्ट विल स्ट्रिप यूजर, इट मींस टू हैपन यूजर एंटर्स स्पेस. अब स्पेस वोवेल नहीं है, कॉन्सोनेंट नहीं है, तो वी आर गोइंग टू चेक इनपुट सही है क्या. अल्फा डॉट स्ट्रिप कहेंगे तो व्हाटएवर यूजर्स एंटर्ड वी आर गोइंग टू स्ट्रिप दैट स्पेसेस. व्हाट इज लेफ्ट आफ्टर दैट वी आर गोइंग टू चेक इसका लेंथ ग्रेटर देन 1 है क्या. या तो यूजर ने यहाँ आपके इनपुट दिखाता हूँ. इफ यूजर एंटर्स 3 स्पेसेस, सॉरी यूजर एंटर्स 3 स्पेसेस, कहता है 3 स्पेसेस अ कॉन्सोनेंट. आज 3 स्पेस इनपुट ही नहीं है, कहाँ का कॉन्सोनेंट कहाँ का वोवेल, इट शुडंट हैव शेयर एनीथिंग. तो हियर आई स्ट्रिप इट, सो डिलीट्स लीडिंग एंड ट्रेलिंग स्पेसेस, दोनों स्पेस हटा देगा. देन विल चेक इफ द लेंथ ऑफ द लेफ्ट ओवर स्ट्रिंग इज ग्रेटर देन 1, तो आई से एंटर ओनली अ सिंगल लेटर. हो सकता है यूजर ने इनपुट किया है 3 कैरेक्टर स्पेस 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 एबीसी, तो स्पेस तो हट गए बट स्टिल एबीसी है. We want user to enter a single alphabet, and Python doesn't have a concept like character. Python has concept of string. Other languages have character as well as string. Python में string ही है सिर्फ. Alphabet character नाम का कोई concept ही नहीं है. It's string, collection of characters. So we have to have a string which contains only a single character. Because user को क्या लेना देना है Python में क्या है नहीं है. User को तो output से मतलब है. So we'll check the length of the string. अगर greater than 1 है, तो we'll say enter only a single character. तो ये 1 क्या है? I could have given a name constant for that if need be. Just to make it more readable, I could have given a constant saying max string length. And for that, I would have said from which could make it all the more readable. If length of the alpha, we want it as an alpha, but that's actually a string type, is greater than max string length. Agar hai, we'll say enter only a single letter and continue. What will continue to do? It will skip all the statements that are there below it, transfer the control back to the beginning of the loop. So let's look at the first scenario. How will continue work? So when I give statement examples, there is a reason कि वहाँ वही feature कुछ रहेगा. So we are here, line number 36 पे हम लोग. We have been asked, please enter alphabet Q to stop. So I enter alphabet. Alphabet that I enter. Oh, what has happened? Okay, let me stop. Never debug at a statement whose value will never change. So I'll debug from here. Okay, so that we will be in position to trace it. Now we are at line number 37. And we are at line number 37. It says now, please enter alphabet. And I should have said or Q to quit is what I should have said, what we had done earlier. But anyway, now what I do is I enter ABC. ये strip करेगा, strip करने के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं, तो ABC is ABC. तो कहता है length of ABC is it greater than max string? Condition is true. कहता है enter only a single letter and continue. Continue takes you back. Second thing is like again we ask user to enter alphabet. This time user enters space space space, 3 spaces. Enter. Up strip करने पर there is nothing that will be left out. All the spaces are gone. So in that case, is the length greater than 1? Condition is false. So here, is it alpha? So here, again, we should have been very cautious. अगर वो greater than max length है, तो भी गलत है. अगर वो 0 है, तो भी गलत है. So it shouldn't be greater than 1. If it is not equal to max string, greater than भी नहीं. If it is not equal to max string, then enter only single. It can be less, it can be more. अब आपने 3 space enter किए, तो भी गलत है. So let's do that again. Here we go. We ask user to enter alphabet. User enter alphabet says 3 spaces. We just now continue. And when we strip, there is nothing. Oh. When we strip, देखो यार, आपने यहाँ string का length देखो, size देखो यार 3 है. Okay. और इसके अंदर 3 spaces है, but length 3 है. Now moment we say strip, length क्या हो गया? What is the length?
0.
0 है. So it is not equal to max length string. एक ही चाहिए. Okay, नहीं है. So enter only a single letter and continue. Why do you want to go further when the input is not right? Again, we'll ask the user enter the alphabet Q to stop. वो भी लिखना चाहिए था. ये पहले बता के रखा हमने enter alphabets or Q to stop. That will get printed right at the beginning when we start the program. Huh? So here we are debugging from halfway through, but that message will get printed. Enter alphabet, or you could print that message every time. Enter alphabet, and this time around user enters @ अब @ में स्ट्रिप करने लायक कुछ नहीं है. मैक्स लेंथ इक्वल है क्या? हाँ है. इफ इट इज नॉट इज अल्फा, हाँ इज नॉट इज अल्फा, ट्रू है, नहीं है. तो अगर है तो कहेंगे एंटर कैरेक्टर इज नॉट एन अल्फाबेट एंड कंटिन्यू. कहता है @ इज नॉट एन अल्फाबेट. @ को कोट्स में डाला है. हाउ डिड आई डू दैट? लुक एट द वे आई हैव रिटन एंड कंटिन्यू. इट्स नॉट एन अल्फाबेट, सो नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ checking whether it's a vowel or a consonant. So we go back. Again, we ask user to enter alphabet. This time user enters alphabet like space, 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 and capital E. So we strip. So देखो length 4 है, size 4 है. So when I strip, size now becomes 1. Length not equal to max string? No. इस बार कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Is it not an alphabet? No. So I'll say alpha dot lower in vowel list because मेरे vowel list में सारे small case है. तो alpha dot lower, alpha will remain upper case. यहाँ output आएगा upper case, lower case. So is it in vowel list? Yes, it is there in the vowel list. So I'll say uppercase E is a vowel, lowercase E नहीं. And उसका uppercase equal to Q है क्या? नहीं है. तो वापस continue किए. This time around we have been asked to enter alphabet and user enters alphabet like capital T. Again, length 1 है क्या? Length 1 नहीं है क्या? No. Not an alphabet. Condition is false. Lower में ले लिया और convert किया into T. Small case T in vowel list नहीं. So we say it's a consonant. Is it Q? No. We go back. Next time round, I enter small case Q. Strip कर लिया, no spaces, nothing. Length not equal to max string, condition is false. Not alphabet, condition is false. Okay. Again, these brackets were not required. I also come from C family, so very used to putting those brackets. Here, alpha lower in vowel list, small t is in vowel list. नहीं है. It's a consonant. Okay, small q, it's a consonant. Q upper equal to Q, yeah, break. And break will terminate the loop and we'll say that's all. The program is stopped. So let's run this code from the command prompt just to understand how important it is, even if it's a simple program that has been given. Apply yourself. Small things show your application to that particular. Enter alphabets or Q to stop. Enter alphabet. I enter hash. Hash is not an alphabet. I enter 2. It is not an alphabet. हमें ये बताने की जरूरत नहीं integer है क्या है. It is not an alphabet because we are asking the user to enter alphabet. This time user is smart. He enters alphabet like capital Y. Y is a consonant. He enters small case y. That's a consonant. He enters uppercase E. That's a vowel. He enters triple E. कहता no. Enter only a single letter. Triple E नहीं चलेगा. एक ही letter चाहिए हमें. Only a single letter. Okay. So we enter space R. कहता R is a vowel. Space को ignore कर लिया. Then he enters A. A is a vowel. He enters Q and the program is stopped. So that's how you should have solved this particular assignment. Apply yourself. Think about all possibilities. I want you to be people who are writing good quality code. It's just not like, sir, code to aa gaya na, kuch to run ho raha hai na, and timing it runs. That's not the kind of code that I'm expecting out of you. After all the logic development and everything that you have done, I have more expectations from you. So apply yourself. Okay. So I'm just sharing this solution with you all. The question is not about being right or wrong. Question is about how much thought has got into it. Good quality take efforts, and good quality code is also paid handsomely. Both the things. And college assignment, the story is totally different. वहाँ कुछ हद तक run कर गया, so for whatever level it runs, you still get some marks. Okay. Industry is not that kind. Client is not that kind. Okay, it's a simple question, but just make sure that you apply yourself and think about all possibilities while you solve. Okay. Accept a two-digit integer. Accept a two-digit integer and print it square.
Print it.
Square. Print it square. हर बार टू डिजिट इंटर करना है, इंटीजर इंटर करना है, उसका स्क्वायर प्रिंट करना है. ओके. Stop the process. Stop the process. When or only when? Only when sum of all the integers entered, sum of all the two-digit integers entered. Stop the process only when sum of all the two digits integers entered exceeds 100. Exceeds 100. Sum of all the two digits integers entered exceeds 100. Okay. So I'm again breaking. Anybody has any question? नहीं समझ में आया question कुछ?
So can you repeat whole question once again?
The problem, the statement may be slightly different, but meaning will still be the same. I said accept accept a two-digit integer and display it square. Simple है. दो integer accept करना है, उसका square print करना है. Continue the process until sum of all the two digits entered, okay, does not exceed 100.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I'm recreating the rooms.
Sir, I have one doubt.
बोलो.
Sum of all two digits enter म्हणजे ते डिजिट एंटर केलेत समजा 23 असेल तर 2 + 3 असं ते 100 व्हायला पाहिजे की जेवढ्या सगळ्या डिजिट एंटर केलेत म्हणजे
Digits नाही, sum of all the two-digit integers. जे दोन अंकी numbers enter केले, त्यांची total 100च्या वर जात नाही.
ओके ठीक आहे.
Rooms are open. Join your rooms and start solving. be scared of it. Criticism is constructive. Why am I criticizing? Because I want you to not to forget those issues. So I'll constantly keep on criticizing. कि अरे ये गलत कर रहे हैं, आप ये गलत कर रहे हैं. That is not to look down upon you, to wake you up. कि अरे ये गलती नहीं करनी. So submit the solution. Don't be scared.
सर 1 घंटा मेरा सबमिट नहीं हो रहा, मैं किसी को तो भी भेजता.
Meanwhile, let's have a look at this solution that one of the team has solved. So import says from typing import final maximum. Now, if this is going to be a constant, okay, you have to use final. कहाँ use कर रहे हैं आप? Colon, final. Defining क्या है? Final using क्या है? If you are not planning to use it. Int. Total sum is 0. I had told you before and after the operator, there should always be a space. Enter to the number of which क्या कह रहा है? Of which square is to be found or whatever it is. Okay. Okay. So here we are given this message. You are accepting the input for the first time. Okay. And that's only one input that you are accepting. You will not accept for the second time. Statement like this, input statement, it has been given inside the loop. So this statement will run only once. Okay. How is it going to enter next time? So it will not even accept the value the next time. एक ही बार accept करेगा. If you want some statements to be executed repeatedly, they should be present inside the loop. If I want to run this particular code, anyway, here is a message that we see right now. Please enter two-digit number is to be found. मैंने कहा 45. आगे क्या? Input dot is numeric. Now, how is this is numeric function written? Okay, user input integer है. तो integer पे is numeric काम करेगा क्या? Is numeric will work only with strings. How will it work with integers? So even before we convert this to an integer, we should have checked whether it's numeric or not. If it's numeric, then we should convert to an integer. The reason for that, I understand the problem that you had said. TWO कहा. तो आप पहले क्या कर रहे हैं? TWO को eval कर रहे हैं. यही error आ गया. The eval will fail for TWO tau. It will fail for that. So you should have kept it only as a string. Check whether it's an integer. Digits, numeric है क्या? Digits है क्या? तो उसमें digits है तो उसे int में convert करो. All those things. तो is numeric है हमारे पास या is digit है? What is the function that we have? Pardon?
Is digit. We are trying with is digit, but it is giving us an error.
Error, obviously, because you are already converted into an integer. Each digit works with string.
Okay.
You are converting into integer. So integer dot each digit है नहीं. It's string dot each digit. It's a string
So-
function.
So all the validation should be done in string.
No, not all the validation. Some of the validation will be done in string, especially वो digit है कि नहीं है. That you will have to check. And this statement will not be present outside. It will be present inside the loop. You have to accept that particular statement repeatedly. पहले accept करो. तो ये digit है क्या? ये सारे functions है आपके पास. यहाँ is numeric है. Okay. If it returns true, if the string is numeric string, false otherwise. Okay. So we could use this particular function as well. Okay. तो आपने ये use कर दिया. Is numeric. All these characters inside this is string. In this string is numeric or not. Okay, that's okay. Enter only 2-digit numerical value. अब ये भी ठीक नहीं है. If I enter 3-digit number, it will still work correctly because वो numeric है. तो 3-digit is numeric. अगर not numeric, अच्छा फिर यहाँ check किया आपने. Less than 10 या greater than 100 है तो enter only a 2-digit number. Okay, and then continue, and then square, and you print the square. Okay, तो इस चीज का क्या काम है? There's nothing that you're doing the same. Okay, so let's run this particular code and see what happens. तो मैंने enter किया 34. कहता है less than is not supported for 34. because once you have accepted the integer string, that's okay. But then before you check for less than or greater than, you'll have to convert into an integer. So this user input, you'll have to convert to an integer. And ये 10 और 100 क्या है? No magical numbers in our program. तो आपको कहना चाहिए था smallest 2-digit number, largest 2-digit number. और या range, upper limit, lower limit and upper limit 99. कुछ तो देना चाहिए था. Where is comma क्यों दे रहे हो? Please enter 2-digit number for which square is to be found. I enter 1. कहता है enter 2-digit number. Enter to error कुछ तो बोलो, कुछ तो गलत किया आपने. Please enter number. I enter 3-digit number. Error. I enter THREE. Enter numerical 2-digit value. Okay, and then I enter -45. Is -45 not a 2-digit number? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
उसका क्या? तो वो भी तो आपको सोचना पड़ेगा. अरे वो 2-digit number है. I should have taken that also into consideration. Okay. So make those corrections. I see one more submission that comes from the other team. Limit dot type. Hey, क्या है? Limit typing. अच्छा, import typing. Okay, good. Typing dot final int is equal to 100. Integer typing dot equal to 2. Okay, sum is equal to 0. Sum less than equal to limit. Okay, limit 100 है. Number please enter to number. Strip कर लिया. Length. This is easiest way to do it. 2 digit के लिए तो सबसे आसान कर लिया. तो string 2 digit का है क्या? I hope you all can see the screen, ना?
Yes, sir.
That's a very simple
sir.
way to check whether it's a 2-digit number. But it will fail for minus something. Okay, so अगर आप यही प्रोग्राम ओपन कर लिया हमने 2 digit, and if I run this particular code, if I run your program, I enter 1, कहता है input should be 2-digit integer, good. I enter 123, कहता है input is 2-digit integer. I say -34, enter should be 2-digit number. है ना, ये 2-digit number ही है ना, -34.
Yes.
So there is failed, but there is something good over here. ये 2 digit calculate करने का तरीका, I liked it. Very simple way to do it. If it's not a digit, okay, input should be 2 integer. Continue. Else, okay, तो अगर ये else है तो यहाँ space keyword. Else, eval कर लिया numbers का square find कर लिया, display the square, and sum is equal to sum plus number. Okay, and we continue running this particular program. So except for वो negative का concept, is everything okay? Let's check it out. 2D नंबर कर लिया, डिजिट है क्या? इवैल करके नंबर को कन्वर्ट कर लिया, वेरीफाई कर लिया. Some lesser limit. Looks nice. Okay, work on it. Take care of that one aspect as well. So that would be much better. Okay. Now, I had given you some assignments. Professor Kaprekar ka examples I had given. Take all of you, take this and make corrections in that. Make it work even for -2. Yeah, -22 के लिए भी काम करना चाहिए. But now, today I'm going to give you one more interesting assignment. Solve those. One was Harshad number, another was
Virali's
Self.
number.
what's that? Harshad
Self.
number, self number, self and Harshad number is one, na?
Devrali.
Devalali number.
There, okay, वो तो solve करो ही करो. Today we are going to play a game. means we are not going to play a game. We are going to build a program for that particular game. So what is that program all about? Have a look at it. ये वीडियो कैसा लग गया? There it goes. Yeah. So look at this game that is there. So there's a game called as Mora. Are you all aware of this game?
No.
Anybody
No.
is aware of this game called as Mora?
No.
Okay. Let me explain you the game first. And then you're going to play the game against the computer. Okay. I'll have a modified version of Mora and the actual Mora. So, पहला modified version of Mora क्या है? Suppose I and Viraj are playing the game. Suppose, assume. So the rules of the games are very simple. Rules of the games are, suppose Prithviraj is the judge and me and Viraj are playing it. In real life, this game is played like, what do you say? The jugaad that we play in India. So that's how passionately it is played in Mediterranean countries. So Viraj and I, both of us, can show different 5 fingers happening. So we can actually have, we can play for 1 to 5 any fingers, let's say 3 fingers. So I can at the time show 1 finger or 2 fingers or 3 fingers, either of them. Let's keep it simple. I'm just keeping it simple. At the same time, when I'm throwing those fingers, Viraj will also throw his own fingers. It could be 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, whatever it is. So now I throw 1, Viraj throws 2. Okay. So suppose this is Viraj and this is I. I throw 1 and at the same time Viraj throws 2. Okay, we have to throw it at the same time. Okay, we'll hide it and we're going to throw it at the same time. So when we throw those fingers at the same time, suppose I throw 2 and 2. At the same time, we'll call out. Viraj has to guess कि उसके fingers and my fingers का total क्या रहेगा. And I'll also call out. Whoever calls out and whose answer is right is the winner. Winner in terms of what? He gets that many number of points. कितने points? Suppose, look at this. Huh? Viraj, this is Viraj and this is I. And Viraj and I throw at the same time and I say 4. So my answer is correct. 2 and 2 is 4. Correct? So I get 4 rupees. I get a point?
Yes.
Okay. Both of us get it wrong. That's a possibility. Yeah? So I said 3 and Viraj said 4. And actually the number was 5. 3 and 2 is 5. Okay. दोनों का total 0. I get a point? Points, दोनों के points कितने हो जाएंगे? 0.
0.
समझ आ रहा है?
सर वो गेस भी तभी करना है ना जब फिंगर्स
When you
दिखाएंगे.
throw.
Okay.
Okay. So we throw the fingers. So you guess the numbers and guess the total. Guess the number मतलब throw the numbers and guess the total. Throw the numbers and guess the total.
Total.
हाँ. And total possibly क्या हो सकता है? 3 6 मैक्सिमम हो सकता है. अगर 3 फिगर्स की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग तो.
Yes,
Yes
sir.
और मिनिमम 2 हो सकता है.
Yes,
I
sir.
get a point. Have you understood the
Yes.
game? How to play
Yes.
the game? Now, I'm giving you a hint how to solve this particular problem. We had seen concept of random number,
Yes.
random
Yes.
dot choice. तो आपके
Yes.
possible answer सारे हैं ना? 2 है, 2 plus 1 3 है, और 2 plus 2 4 है, and 3 plus 1 4 है ना? सारे आंसर्स है ना possible जो आ सकते हैं. Permutation combination. तो 3 fingers पे हम लोग restrict करते हैं. Actually it is played with 5 fingers है. तो more combination आते हैं. But suppose हम 3 fingers के साथ ही play कर रहे हैं, तो you have list में क्यों बताऊं? आपके पास सारे possible answers है. Okay. So when you and a computer are playing, okay, एक बार computer आप दोनों एक समय ही, computer will also guess what number you are going to enter, and you will also guess what computer is going to select randomly. Computer 2 चीजें randomly करेगा. क्या 2 चीजें randomly करेगा computer?
Sir, both choice.
ना,
टोटल और चॉइस.
total और choice, the number that he throws. तो computer एक random number throw करेगा और total भी guess करेगा. Correct? At the same time, you are going to input your value. I get your point?
यस
Input
यस.
or total ना sir?
आप दोनों 2 चीजें इनपुट करोगे.
Okay.
कंप्यूटर पहले ही गेस कर चुका है और आप भी 2 डालोगे, तो इनमें से जो विन होगा, ओके, यानी जब तक आपका क्या करेगा, फॉर एवरी विन यू गेट दैट, जो टोटल रहेगा वो आपका प्राइज मनी है। तो जब तक आपका प्राइज मनी 25 रुपए नहीं होता है तब तक आपको ये गेम खेलना है।
Okay.
Agree with my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And both of go wrong, then what are we going to do?
0.
back
Zero.
to 0.
So let's have a look at the actual rules. Yeah, ये simple है क्या? While there are many variations of Mora, the most famous variation is played with minimum 2 players. The most popular version, all players throughout a single hand, each showing 0 to 5 fingers. हमारे पास 0 to 3 fingers करेंगे हम लोग, correct? 0 fingers भी है, 0 fingers भी है. And call out the guess of guess and call out their guess at what the sum of the fingers will be. If one player guesses the sum, that player earns the points. कितने points earn करेगा वो?
Total.
हमारे केस में टोटल जो सम रहेगा वो पॉइंट्स है. द फर्स्ट प्लेयर टू रीच द 3 पॉइंट्स विंस द गेम. हमारे केस में द फर्स्ट प्लेयर टू विन वी रीच
25.
लेट्स नॉट कीप इट 25, लेट्स कीप इट लाइक दिस ओनली. 3 बार जो विन करेगा ना उसको हर विन पे, हर राइट गेस पे उसको 1 पॉइंट मिलेगा. लेट्स कीप इट सिंपल. और हर गेस पे फेलियर पे कुछ नहीं होगा. ओके, लेट्स कीप इट असाइड. इन द एक्चुअल गेम फेलियर पे रीसेट किया जाता है. ओके, देयर आर वेरिएशंस एक्चुअली, यू कैन गो थ्रू इट, वेरिएंट्स है. और आपको 3 गेस आपने सही कर लिए तो द प्रोग्राम शुड स्टॉप. एनीबॉडी, कंप्यूटर ने 3 गेस सही कर लिए या आपने 3 गेस कर लिए सही, द प्रोग्राम विल स्टॉप. एंड जो पहले 3 गेस सही करेगा, ओके, ही इज द विनर. इज दैट ओके? तो विल टेक दिस रूल्स ओनली.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
ओके, बट द वेरिएशन दैट इज प्लेड इन इटली इज अबाउट ऑल अबाउट मनी. यार, ये जो गेस करता है उसको उतने पैसे देने पड़ते हैं आपको, उतने डॉलर्स या जो भी इटालियन ये रहेगा. इट्स वेरी वाइडली प्लेड एंड इट वाज थॉट लाइक ये पुराने जमाने का गेम है, नोबडी मस्ट बी प्लेइंग. Recently when there was a survey that is carried out and it is still very widely played amongst the शायद आपकी जनरेशन नहीं, the previous generation plays it still very often. Okay, so I have shared a link with you for the Mora game and I want you to write a program where you will play against the computer. I hope you understood.
सर एक
Yes,
गैस
sir.
लेना है, एक टोटल
हाँ, दो
लेना है.
चीजें, यानी आप
Yes,
भी
sir.
2 चीजें एंटर करोगे और कंप्यूटर ने
और
पहले ही 2 चीजें गेस किए रहेंगे.
वो दो रैंडम गैस करेगा.
करेक्ट.
यस सर.
तो कंप्यूटर टोटल और एक नंबर गेस करेगा, मतलब कंप्यूटर विल सिलेक्ट वन रैंडम नंबर, थ्रो वन रैंडम नंबर
रैंडम डॉट चॉइस सर.
एंड एक नंबर गेस करेगा. बट कंप्यूटर आपका स्मार्ट होना चाहिए. स्मार्ट क्यों होना चाहिए? बिकॉज कंप्यूटर ने गेस किया नंबर 1 या नंबर 3. ओके, गेस नहीं किया, कंप्यूटर थ्रोज नंबर 3. या
यस
तो कंप्यूटर का टोटल का गेस कभी 3 के नीचे तो नहीं रहेगा ना.
सर.
इफ आई एम अ प्लेयर, आई हैव डिसाइड कि मैं 3 फिंगर्स थ्रो करने वाला हूं, तो आप कितने भी फिंगर थ्रो करो 0 से 3, टोटल तो 3 के ऊपर ही रहेगा ना.
हाँ सर.
हाँ, sir.
तो आपका, आपके कंप्यूटर का जो गेस रहेगा that should be greater than or equal to the number that the computer has guessed.
यस सर. हाँ जी.
और आपका भी वही है, यहाँ नेगेटिव नंबर कोई गेस नहीं करता है. तो अगर आपने 2 फिंगर थ्रो किए तो आपका गेस शुड नॉट एवर बी लेस देन 2 ना.
यस
Yes,
सर.
sir.
नहीं तो आप 2 को थ्रो कर रहे हो और कह रहे हो सम 1 होने वाला है. ये जिंदगी में पॉसिबल है कि आपने 2 फिंगर्स थ्रो किए, सम 1 कैसे होगा?
But sir, what if both show 0? No fingers.
हाँ, दैट इज ओके ना. तो आपका गेस ही 0 है ना, नंबर ही थ्रो किया 0 है ना, तो ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू है ना.
हाँ, sir.
आई एग्री विद माय पॉइंट.
यस सर.
So it's a game that we are going to design. Okay, it will apply, it will make you apply a lot of concepts that we have learned. One is this random concept that we had seen. So the random concept is what we will have to learn. And plus, आपका जो guess है, और या कंप्यूटर 2 प्लेयर है ना, एक कंप्यूटर है एक आप हो. So the computer has to be smarter. Why it has to be smarter? Because it has to guess throw a number. Let's say throw a number and guess the total. And the total that he guesses should be more than the number that it has thrown. Greater than equal to the number that is thrown. And same is the case with you also. ठीक है?
यस.
Can you all do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. तो I'll give time. कल मिलो, डिस्कस करो एक साथ. कल भी आप नहीं आए थे, that is bad. ये 3-4 असाइनमेंट्स है ना, they will test your logic. Even the previous one, Harsh's number, self number जो था, देवलाली number, these are good assignments for you to. It will make you think a lot. ये गेम भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. या एक सिंपल एग्जांपल दूं, असाइनमेंट गेम दूं.
नहीं सर ये ओके.
एक ट्राई करते हैं sir.
Okay. Simpler one could be what you must have played in your school days. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yes.
यस सर.
वो भी गेम कर सकते हैं हम लोग. But this is more challenging because यहाँ दो चीजें
दो.
आती हैं. Okay. Yeah, you could play with rock, paper, scissors as well. That's also a good game to write. तो rock, paper, scissors में कैसे होता है? Rock smashes a scissor.
Yes.
Scissor cuts the paper, and paper covers the rock. Yes or no?
Yes.
यस सर.
So if I say rock, and you say scissor, who wins?
रॉक.
Rock.
Rock. If I say scissor and you say paper, then
सीजर.
scissor. So you could play with rock, paper, scissor as well. And if both say scissor,
नथिंग.
nothing. Okay. So you could develop that game as well. So why don't you start with rock, paper, scissor? Keeping in
ओके सर.
rock smashes scissor cuts paper, and paper covers rock.
Rock.
So in this case, if I say rock and you say paper, who wins?
पेपर.
Paper. Okay. And that's again with the hand gestures only you used to play, na? School में,
हाँ सर.
है ना? So there also you can have some guess. So whoever gets first 5 points, he wins. So start with rock, paper, scissors, and then come with Mora.
ओके सर.
Okay. So play 2 games you're going to design. Work with Professor Kaprekar. And once you finish with Professor Kaprekar, then you can play with these 2 games. First is rock, paper, scissors, and second is game of Mora. You could watch some video also to understand the concept of Mora, how to play this Mora game. But our rules are slightly different, or the links that we have shared. That's how you can play. You can, I give you liberty to change the rules also slightly, but just tell me on what rules have you played the game. Don't change the game totally. But don't go with 5 fingers. People play with both hands as well. Now that's more difficult. Okay, variations, combinations increase. One hand itself is challenging. Now 5 fingers itself is very challenging. I'm restricting to 3 fingers. So play with 3 fingers and guess it and let me know. Okay?
So
Yes, please.
तो वो हर्षस नंबर हो गया तो सेल्फ नंबर समझ में नहीं आ रहा था.
कोशिश करो. इसीलिए कहा मिलकर करो. अकेले नहीं आ रहा तो बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं आपके दोस्त? Okay. But I appreciate you अपने submit तो क्या है? That's something very nice. I appreciate that. हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. But I want others also to apply. देखो इसने सॉल्व किया, देखो उसका कहाँ तक गलत गया है. करो यार सॉल्व. Because आप you are so few people, correct? तो आपका एक बॉन्डिंग ऐसा होना चाहिए that you understand each other, you can help out each other. करो ना यार. Just आप इतने छोटे ग्रुप में भी if you don't gel together, तो बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कैसे करोगे? Help each other out, understand, teach each other, explain each other. Do that. It's great fun to discuss and do pair programming. With that note, we'll stop over here today. See you next time. Tomorrow मुझे बताइए आपका गेम खत्म हुआ क्या? We'll take the next session only when you complete the game. तब तक कोई सेशन नहीं रहेगा. तो कल आप दिन में कभी मिलो, complete the game, and then we meet.
Okay, sir.
The challenge करो, because believe me, it will give you tremendous confidence about writing programs. It's not about how many sessions you attended. It's whether you can solve problems. Programming is always about solving problems. तो ये प्रॉब्लम अगर आप सॉल्व कर सकते हो क्या? Can you think? Okay. तो ये even I haven't written this particular code. I will also solve with you all if need be. अगर आपसे नहीं हो रहा तो हम लोग बैठ के भी सॉल्व करेंगे. But कुछ तो बना के ले आओ. I was thinking of rock, paper, scissors, and then I remember this Mora. Then I thought, can we devise a question on Mora? तो कर सकते हैं ना? We can play against a computer with a Mora game. But don't go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, build a code in Python for me for Mora game with 3 fingers. Please don't do that. So it's your brain we want to test, not ChatGPT's logic.
Is it possible?
हो सकता है ना, क्या मालूम. आजकल ChatGPT के पास है ना, GitHub का पूरा सोर्स कोड है. If
Okay.
anybody has solved this particular game on GitHub, ChatGPT has an access to it. All public GitHubs are directly accessible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if somebody has defined the problem statement, यार 4 का नहीं मिलेगा 5 का मिलेगा तो उसमें वेरिएशन तो आप कर सकते हैं ना. So that's very much possible. But don't get into that habit. That's very dangerous. Then you will always be dependent on that. And the next version of chat is going to be paid version. तो आप इतने पैसे नहीं अफोर्ड कर पाओगे हर समय. अभी तो फिलहाल फ्री है. Chat GPT-4 now comes up to be with a paid version. So don't do that. अपना लॉजिक चाहिए. Okay, we will build chat GPT kind of thing. Not be dependent on that. There is no harm in having a reference to it, but it should not become an addict of that. Correct? जैसे steroids लेते हैं हम लोग डॉक्टर के एडवाइस पे to get better quickly. But steroids dose लेने लगे तो you will be addict ना. तो drug
Yes,
addict
sir.
नहीं बनना है आपको.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, it's like steroids only. हाँ? हाँ, you totally be dependent on that then. तो वो नहीं तो आप जी नहीं पाओगे. So I don't want you to be a drug addict. Be a doctor who will sometimes give the patient or even himself administer himself dose for 3 days, 4 days for some issues, but not addict. I'll teach you how to frame a question correctly on ChatGPT so that you get the appropriate answer, then how to devise that. That also I'll teach you. But then I don't want you to be dependent on it, not to be dependent. So with that note, we'll stop. Take it as a challenge. I'll be the most happiest person if you can solve this particular game. And you will also feel better. You'll have a very nice sleep. Okay. So good night, everybody. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.